while this industry is fun to watch and like fun to enjoy these movies, if this is the industry I want to be in, I have to work hard. I have to put the time in. I have to put every single living second of my time into whatever I'm working on. And I saw that in my dad when we were first starting out with The Chosen, when he had to be away for a long time filming the first season.
Hello, Against the Tide media, family, friends, enemies, etc. It's Justen, and we're going to do Chatting with the Chosen today. And I've got a super cool guest. I have the one, the only Sam Jenkins. Welcome,
Hello.
Sam.
Hello. It's good to be here.
It's good to see you, man. It's been a while since I've actually been face to face with you, hasn't it?
Yes, it's been a long time. I don't think since like maybe 2019.
Man, that's too long. And I get sad when I see the rest of your family and you're not there. I truly do.
I have a picture of you on my desktop and I get sad whenever I look at it. I'm like, when is our reunion going to happen? But
well, that's a whole different story, getting sad when looking at a picture of me, but we won't go down that road. All right. First things first, the elephant in the room. Are you related to Dallas Jenkins?
I am a little bit. I'm his son. So
you are.
Yes.
Wow.
Just a little bit of a relative.
So then the next question is, if you're his son, does that also make him your dad?
I think in a sense it does. I think it does. I didn't think about it that way.
That's amazing.
The more you know.
Should we do the song? We can't do the song because then we get flagged. Yeah.
Graphic coming up.
Here comes the sun.
So you are a college student. You are at Libre University.
Yes.
Which every time, I'm going to be honest with you, every time a Libre Mutual commercial comes on, I think about you. Because I know you're at Libre. I know Libre College, and I'm just Libre, Sam.
That was the selling point when I'm sitting at the table debating colleges, and I said, God, what college do you want me to go to? And then Libre on the commercial, and I knew that like if Libre Mutual approves, then obviously I have to go there. So
well, and that's why I actually went to Where's the Beef College. I'm a little older than you, so you don't probably know the reference, but
our rival school.
So we of course are obligated to talk a little bit about The Chosen, and we'll get into talking about you and what your career aspirations are. We'll talk about your pops a little bit. I know him fairly well. You might know him even a little bit better than I do. And so we'll tease a little bit with a specific Dallas Jenkins secret that perhaps only Sam knows about. We'll get to there. That's our teaser. Stay on this interview until that secret comes out.
Okay.
So, Sam, tell me just a little bit of a backstory here. I mean, you and I met on set, and you came, you helped out, you volunteered, you were on the AD team. I have a feeling that it took you a little bit of time to understand that I'm sarcastic 93% of the time. Were there ever times where you were like, dude, just can't you be serious for a minute?
No, I'm typically in life a very sarcastic person too, unless I'm stuck in a work mode. Like I have to get this done and I have to go make sure that Jonathan has this, or Shahar is doing this, or the extras are over here. So for some reason, whenever I'm like super focused on work, sarcasm doesn't reach my head. So you'll go like, hey, Sam, I tried to call you on the walkie 5 times. And I'll panic like, oh my gosh, did something just not go right because I wasn't on set? But No, there were never times where I needed you to be serious because I'm not a very serious person myself, wait. I'm not a serious person most of the time unless it's very crucial. And in those crucial moments, I don't understand it, but that's on me. So
when you punched me in the face that one time, it was my own fault.
That was your fault. Yes. You should have known that when I'm working, I'm very focused. My dad knows this. Don't come up to Sam when he's working or you'll get punched. And unfortunately, he didn't relay that message to you. And it was an unfortunate side effect. I'm not apologizing. And I'm glad you are apologizing to me about it. So.
All right. So I'm going to add this to my list of things to blame on Dallas Jenkins. Sam punching me in the face. Okay. Now, that's similar to your dad, though. I mean, he's very, very focused when he's in work mode. When it's not work mode, I mean, we can joke about Jay Cutler till the cows come home.
Right.
But work mode, I mean, he's really, really focused. And so do you feel like you get that from him? Is that a similar trait that you guys have?
Yeah, I think that's rubbed off on me over time, and especially watching him on set, like work. Like I want to do what he does someday. So watching him work is a learning experience for me. So it might rub off on me a little bit, but the more we've gotten like deeper in the show, like the more it can be lighter on certain days. But there are certain days where you can't really joke around too much. But there are lighter days where you can pull him aside and get him to laugh. But
usually by offering a finger to pull or pulling one of his, right?
Yes, part jokes.
Yeah, that's always good. They're always welcome.
That's my love language. So, as a 20-year-old man, fart jokes are still my weakness. So,
yeah, I'm more than twice your age, and believe you me, nothing can get me going more than bodily noises. So you want to be a director. I know that you have a desire to be in the film world. And I think you act a little bit. Let's talk about your aspirations and your background a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much as long as I can remember, movie making in some aspect is what I've wanted to do. Maybe for like the first 15 years of my life, it was acting. And then I just fell in love with behind the scenes work, and I'm not that comfortable on camera. So behind the camera is where I truly feel the most comfortable when I'm on set of The Chosen. I love it. I never get bored. I'm always wanting to be there. I'm sad when I'm not there. When you guys were finishing up from February to March, I was bummed out I couldn't be there and stuck here at college. But that is what I want to do pretty much my entire life. And it's why I'm here at Liberty currently studying. So.
Almost sounded like you were going to say here at Liberty stuck.
No,
not working.
No, Liberty people watching. Liberty is awesome. I'm not going to get sniped or anything like that.
So it's always a delicate subject because when you have a father in a particular industry and you realize at a young age that you want to be in that industry as well, do you feel like it was the exposure that your dad gave you to the industry, or was it completely independent of that, your desire to be in it?
Completely and totally independent. I don't know. It's just a huge coincidence because my dad was an athlete growing up, and my parents thought I was going to be this sports freak, and I've been a movie freak my entire life. I'm athletic, but not good at sports. That's my curse. So, and my love for movies simply came from being obsessed with movies my whole life, like Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark and Pirates of the Caribbean. Action movies got me into my love of movies. And then as I started getting older, I just started appreciating every genre from everything. I'm the guy who loves Nacho Libre with all that's in him, but also loves The Dark Knight with everything that's in him, two different genres. So I think my love for film just came from me, just my obsession as a kid and my obsession today. And I still need to watch when in little conversations, not everyone has seen as many movies as I have. So I need to harness that obsession a little bit and translate that to work. But yeah. And I sometimes forget that he's a director. Well, yeah, my dad is actually in the industry that I want to work in. Maybe I should actually be asking him for advice instead of trying to do everything on my own.
Well, for what it's worth, I forget that often too, that he's in charge. So He'll tell you that.
I've never forgotten he's in charge. So,
well, I can't sidestep your quote because I'm going to make a meme out of this someday. Sam Jenkins, I'm athletic, but I'm not good at sports.
Yes, that's been the curse forever. Ask anybody.
That's actually awesome, and I can't wait to take advantage of that at some point.
Man, I'm so excited for that.
So your draw to movies now, you mentioned, Star Wars, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Both of those are high action, just visually stimulating pictures. Do you also like, and I know your dad's all-time favorite movie is It's a Wonderful Life. Not quite the action adventure type movie, but very more of a intimate, movie. You said you love all genres. Are you drawn to a particular genre? And is it the story? Is it the characters? Or is it the visual spectacle that really draws you in?
Depends on the movie. Like, I'm the guy who didn't love Avengers Endgame, but I loved other action movies. My tastes are really weird. Family makes fun of me all the time for the movies that I love and the movies that I can't stand. But the genre that I draw the most to is action movies. I'm a huge John Wick, Bourne Identity. Like, those are my love language. But pretty much all genres I'm drawn to. If it's a good movie, then it's a good movie. That's all that matters to me. And if it's a bad movie, then I think it's a good movie. So a lot of it just stems from everything. I just love movies, like everything about them and the making of them.
I mean, one could argue that Nacho Libre is not maybe a stellar movie, but you referenced it. You love it, right?
Nacho Libre should have been nominated for every Oscar and should have won every Oscar.
So that was, I believe that was Jared Hess's follow-up to Napoleon Dynamite, right? Or maybe he had a couple in between. Are you a Napoleon Dynamite fan as well?
Oh, I know I am. I'm not I wouldn't know that specific fact, but I know they're the same guys. But yeah, like Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre, two movies that I love.
So what you're telling me is, before I asked that question, I should have realized not everybody knows as many movies as I know, right?
Right.
All right, let's do some fan questions. I have one here from Shinseiya. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. She asks if you're a writer as well.
I would like to be, but I'm not a good one. That's not my way of storytelling. My way of storytelling is telling it exactly how I want it in the scene that I want it to lay out in. Writing it up is a whole other story. That's currently the class I'm taking now, is Intro to Screenwriting at Liberty. So I'm getting better at it, but I'm not a dialogue writer. I'm a very much like, I see it, this is how I want to shoot it, and it's up to somebody else to write the step-by-step of how we get there. I'm very much, I can see it in my head. I just can't translate it as well as I think I can. But
you're a big idea guy. You come up with the concept, the idea, and you say, okay, go write my vision.
I've got the whole outline in my head of every movie I want to make someday. It's writing down the 2-hour movie that is my struggle, but I'm getting better at it, and hopefully I won't have to hire someone to do it for me. I can do it myself someday.
Well, as somebody who's a self-diagnosed ADHD sufferer, I'm just going to tell you, 90 minutes is fine for a movie. There's nothing wrong with making a 90-minute movie. I'm just saying.
I'll agree with you on that. I sometimes can't sit through 3-hour movies unless it's Zack Snyder's Justice League, but
that's a superhero movie, right?
That's a superhero movie, a 4-hour superhero movie. So that's superhero, more like super boring. Am I right? Huh? Sorry. We're still in the remnants of the COVID era. We can't high five over Zoom calls. We can do this over Zoom though.
My apologies for that. Amanda asks, did you consider going to Northwestern in Minnesota, where I'm from? I'm in Minnesota right now. Had you ever considered Northwestern?
I have never considered Northwestern. It was only 3 colleges, Biola, Taylor, and Liberty. And it ended up being between Biola and Liberty. And then I chose Liberty.
Flipped a coin, heads it's East Coast, tails it's West Coast.
I'm sorry, I can't stand California. Can't do it. So can't do it. I like visiting. I'm a big Disneyland fan, but California can't do it. So cold Virginia raining. Love it. That's my area.
That's crazy. So you were born in California, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Unfortunately, yes. No, I'm kidding. I moved to California. I'm kidding.
But I mean, do you remember living in California or not?
Yeah. Oh. For 8 years, I was there. Okay. We moved to Illinois when I was roughly 8 or 9.
Sephora asks on Facebook, did The Chosen impact your faith in any way? I love that question, by the way.
I do too. Impact my faith. I've always been a very strong believer. The Chosen didn't necessarily make me more of a believer or grow me in my faith, but it made me appreciate my faith a lot more, because I don't like the way that a lot of people portray Jesus as a very stern, and God said, and all that stuff. Jesus was a normal human being, and that's what I appreciated, and that's what I appreciate about The Chosen. And every scene with him in it is my favorite scene. And it just made me appreciate Jesus for who he is, because that is what I believe, how he acts and who he is as a person. He does crack jokes.
And I heard about that brood of vipers comment. That was classy.
Like when he was surviving in the wilderness, he did struggle. He did get injured, went through all the struggles as a normal man did. And I appreciated that, because that is what the Bible says. It doesn't picture him as this very cold person. It pictured him as a very loving person. So I appreciated that. And it made me more appreciative of my faith.
And going back to, like your dad did The Two Thieves. Do you remember that? I mean, that was, you must have been just getting into your teen years at that point.
I was 13 when The Two Thieves was being made. And yeah, I remember that crystal clear. That was amazing. And it was a short film for a church. And my dad still made an Oscar-worthy short film. And yeah, what can I say? My dad's a genius. So I remember all that pretty clearly. I love Two Thieves. The period pieces of the Jesus times, that's my favorite thing that he does. I think it's perfect. And I think he's so good at it.
Well, yeah, and collaborating with Tyler Thompson, who you know well too. I mean, you see the progression. The Two Thieves is amazing, and then all of a sudden, The Shepherd. It's like, oh my goodness.
We've waited for this for so long.
This is amazing. How involved were you in with The Shepherd?
The Shepherd, not much at all. I got to visit the set, stay there for 14 hours and watch everything. I have a little cameo in The Shepherd. You got to pick out the only white guy in the whole short, and you'll be able to find me. It's towards the very end. That was my only involvement with The Shepherd. I just got to watch it happen and show up for 20 minutes, be in the scene, and that was pretty much it.
So then it brings up the question, like, I mean, part of it is probably just protecting you as his child, not wanting to expose you to the grind of what a film set is, working for 12, 14 hours in a day. Did you work on What If at all? Did you work on The Resurrection of Gavin Stone?
No. Too young for that. And I wasn't as dedicated as I should have been. I should have been asked. At the time, I was 15. No, I must have been 14 when Gavin Stone was being filmed. And at that age, I should have been more direct. Like, I want to be on this set. I want to be helping out. And I wasn't at the time. My only involvement with Gavin Stone was casting Gavin Stone. And that was it. And at the time, I regret not being a part of it more, because I was lazy about it and said, I'm going to get to that when I become an adult. But I regret the times that I wasn't on set for Gavin Stone. What if I was like 8 or 9 years old? So I wouldn't have been able to contribute much to that. But Gavin Stone, I should have been more involved other than casting Gavin. Even when The Chosen was first starting, I was still in the mindset of, I can do this later. And then through my parents slapping me around, saying, like, get your butt on a set, I got on set and knew I loved it and knew this is what I wanted to do. And man, I've been missing out on a lot. And this is... Yeah.
So for all intents and purposes, your first official time, like extended, more than a day, more than visiting the set, of working on a project that your dad was doing was The Chosen.
really doing work on a set and really seeing what he does and who he is on set was my first real test of, do I want to do this for the rest of my life? And it only confirmed it. I honestly cannot imagine myself doing anything else with my life other than making movies.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Again, you know, I'm the same age as your dad, so it's kind of weird and goofy that I can, you know, I just consider you a friend. Like, I'm so happy that we know each other, and you know, I have mad respect for you. I mean, I consider you an extension of my own family for some degree, and I think part of that is just, I see that desire in you, and I see that hardworking mentality, and I know you've come from good blood. I mean, I love your mom and dad. I love your siblings. I am just so excited to see where your career takes you. And I want to keep buttering myself up with you so that you'll hire me as an actor at some point, because dude,
keep coming. I'm all for it.
I have never met anybody at your age that is as talented and as gifted and is as just good looking, smart. You know, it's amazing what exudes out of every.
Getting higher on the call sheet. It's getting higher and higher.
So you had actually mentioned casting. So did you have something to do with Brett Dalton being a part of Gavin Stone? Can we talk about that publicly? I don't know.
Yeah, we can, for sure. I had everything to do with Brett Dalton. And that's not an exaggeration. My dad was in the middle of casting, trying to find who could play Gavin Stone. I had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on in the background. It's a Marvel show. And I've been trying to like throw names out there, names that were too big for the show. Hugh Jackman, Chris Evans. And I saw Brett Dalton and said, why not Brett Dalton? Next thing you know, Brett Dalton is on the set, and I'm meeting one of my Marvel heroes, and I got a lot of opportunities. I got to meet a lot of Marvel people through Brett, and now he's not Brett Dalton, he's Brett. And he's a friend now. And so I had pretty much, Brett Dalton was my idea, and I'm going to forever say that and die on that hill that Gavin Stone is possible only because of me. No, I'm kidding.
Well, no, it's nice that you have had a say in one actor over your dad's career that he has cast. Brett Dalton, the one actor that you have been responsible for casting, right? I can't think of any others that you had a hand in. Did you?
No, there might be another project that I had a hand in casting, but.
Oh, wait a second. Oh my goodness. Look at this. I've got a question from Jerry on Facebook here about Erick Avari.
That's right. Erick Avari on a little project called The Chosen.
Oh, did you have anything to do with that?
I now that you mention it, I might have.
How can these things be?
Yeah, Erick Avari was my job. My dad had asked me to find older Jewish Middle Eastern men who could play Nicodemus. So with my 1,100 movies, I went through all of them. I watched a lot of TV, so like 24 has a lot of those demographic. So I would go through 24. I went through all my shows, all my movies, and for some reason, one of the first people I thought of was Erick, because of a really obscure movie, the Ben Affleck 2003 Daredevil movie. He plays Jennifer Garner's dad. And that was the first thing I thought of. And so I wrote him down, and then I looked him up again, and he was in the Brendan Fraser Mummy movie, Paul Blart Mall Cop, all movies that I really loved growing up. So I threw Erick Avari to my dad. My dad loved it, met with Erick Avari, and the rest was history. So Nicodemus.
Yeah, and I mean, it's easy to look back with 2020 vision now, but there is no way to picture anybody else on the planet as Nicodemus in season 1 of The Chosen.
And I'm being honest, he's the only one who I could picture. All these other guys I had listed, Erick Avari was the only, unless you go for like huge names. But obviously, with a show that's just starting out like The Chosen, Erick Avari is also a very well-known name. So I didn't think that would ever happen. I didn't think, because Erick Avari's been around for years. I didn't think he'd actually do it, but I kept saying, like, I really see Erick Avari as the perfect Nicodemus. And by God's grace, Erick Avari said yes. And gave one of the best performances of the whole show.
Yeah, I'm still moved to tears. And I've shared this publicly a handful of times. I don't know if I've ever told you personally, but just when Jonathan and Eric were rehearsing the John 3:16 scene on the soundstage in Dallas, Texas, I started crying. I mean, they're in street clothes. They're not in wardrobe. They're not in, they've got their scripts in their hand and they're reading these words. And I am just standing off to the side like,
Eric and Jonathan, man, I can't. That scene alone is just unreal. That's my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes of the whole show, as is everyone's. And I can't get over it. I'll watch with friends and kind of like trying to brush them away, but it's unreal.
Yeah,
I didn't think you could make John 3:16 into a TV show, but here you go.
Well, that was just one of those surreal days on set for me because of the impact of what those words truly mean and that they were really spoken in a conversation that could have happened exactly as it was depicted on screen.
I see it happening that way. Everything on the shows, and I see like, yeah, that definitely happened. Yeah. And they did. Yeah. Dad, Tyler, and Ryan are just unreal writing that dialogue, that scene, and I didn't think this would work, and it did. And it exceeded what I thought. I personally didn't know if it could work, but I also knew my dad could make it work. So,
well, honestly, The Chosen shouldn't work. The Chosen shouldn't exist the way it is right now. And if it was your dad alone, or even your dad with the team, even if I was a part of that team, if it was us, this doesn't work. I mean, this is truly a God-breathed project, and you have to recognize that. You certainly are in conversations at home with your family, and this has to be kind of a recurring theme. I mean, talk into that a little bit, like how you see God working in The Chosen.
Where do I not see God working in The Chosen? I mean, my dad's talked about this a bunch. Gavin Stone failed. It didn't do well. As good of a movie as it is, just didn't perform well at the box office. And he just didn't know what he was going to do next. And I remember him, because we were working at Harvest Bible Chapel, and that he wasn't doing movie making as his full time. And I know that's what he wanted to do full time. And we were coming out of Good Friday service, and he had shot a Chosen-like thing for the church. We were walking out, and I said, that was real. I always tell him this. That was really good, which it always is. And my mom said, your dad has an idea to do a Netflix streaming style show about Jesus and the disciples. And I remember him kind of going, that's just an idea. I think it'd be kind of cool. Next thing I know, it's being developed. It's being written. I didn't know it was being made until it was like halfway through. I was like, wait, you're actually doing this? Why aren't you focusing on this project? And he's casting, and I'm looking at Erick Avari, and I'm just like, I trust my dad more so than I can give words to. So I never doubted he could do it, but I didn't know if it would be like Gavin Stone. I didn't know if this would be as huge of a hit. Like I'm always the one to say this is going to be a hit, and sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. The Chosen, like you said, shouldn't work. No one besides the Christian community should enjoy it, and yet it's monumental. Everyone loves it. I love it. I'm not being biased. I'm a fan of it. I got excited when the live stream came out, and I'm not. If I wasn't my father's son and on set a lot, I would still be excited for this. And I'm in my, when the premiere came out for season 2 on YouTube, I was in my room pumping my fists, cheering, laughing, because it's just a great show. And I remember it clearly when he had the idea, and now we're in season 2. I trust my dad, and I trust God implicitly, with everything. So I never thought this is going to fail. I just didn't know how successful it would be. And even but like we said, it isn't because of my dad, it's because of God. As much as my dad is talented as he is, this doesn't happen without God.
For sure. Yeah. And that's the first thing that he'll say when he's getting credit for it. And I love one of his quotes. He said, "There is no amount of success the chosen can have that will convince me that I had anything to do with it." I might be mincing the quote a little bit, but I love that about your dad, that he recognizes that this is God's project. And I think, certainly your whole family exudes just the honoring God for the gift that this project has been.
I agree.
And just
if he thought that it was all him, I'd have to sit him down and say, "Hey, as your son, I need to tell you, step aside real quick." But
if that ever happens, please, for the love of all things holy, text me and let me come and watch, because I want to see that conversation.
If I ever have that conversation with my dad, then the whole world will watch, because he's always right. But this time,
oh boy, we could go down a rabbit hole now, but let's not. I got a question from Barb, it's a multi-part question, and I love both pieces. And so the first one is, what is the best advice you've gotten from your mom or your dad? And I'm even going to throw in your grandpa. We haven't talked about Grandpa Jerry yet, co-author of the Left Behind series.
Yes.
So any great advice you've gotten from anybody older than you that's blood related?
My parents are big into being as direct and honest with me as they can, and for making me a better man. The best advice they've ever given me. One thing that I do take to heart is them reminding me that while this industry is fun to watch and like fun to enjoy these movies, if this is the industry I want to be in, I have to work hard. I have to put the time in. I have to put every single living second of my time into whatever I'm working on. And I saw that in my dad when we were first starting out with The Chosen, when he had to be away for a long time filming the first season. And it's part of the reason we're moving to Texas, because we can't do that for much longer, especially when he's doing 7 seasons. So I need to have that drive, dedication, and all in all, making sure that my walk with God is at the forefront. Because if the crazy world of Hollywood gets in the way of my faith, then I'm doing everything wrong. So I need to keep that in mind, while also knowing that like the talent that I may or may not have isn't mine. It comes from God. And one thing my dad always tells me, and my mom keeps reminding me, your dad keeps telling you to do this: read everything. Read everything about making movies. That's a little thing, but it's something that I don't do enough. And I find that whenever I read a book about what I want to do, I learn a lot more from it. I need to do that more, but making sure that I'm working hard and my walk with God is in check, and read everything.
Yeah, and we live in a world today where podcasts and YouTube videos and all of that supplemental information, I mean, DVD commentaries, bonus features. I mean, your dad is still a proponent of buying DVDs because of features. I love it too. Yeah, I mean, what's that?
R.I.P. Blockbuster. That was my jam as a kid.
Right. Yeah. Well, and even, side note, Disney Plus, have you watched any of the commentaries from The Mandalorian, the roundtables of Favreau?
My dad and I were in the middle of that before I went back to college, but yeah, I love it.
They're excellent. They're so good and so informative. And just for other people out there watching this that may have aspirations of being in the film industry. I mean, number one, as you mentioned, be right with God. And if your desires to get into the industry get in the way of your faith, right, you need to take a step back and reassess the situation. But number two, just educate yourself, inform yourself. Podcasts. I mean, my goodness, there's Script Notes is a fantastic podcast about screenwriting. I can't recommend that enough if you're, getting into screenwriting. And then, there's just some, Google it. Sorry, that's now I'm giving like directions to people. Let's get back to Barb's question. Her second question now, it's similar, but it's flip-flopping. Do you give your dad any advice on how to be cool and or relevant to younger people?
No, I just asked him to stop trying. He's a pretty comfortable guy in every scenario, but like when he told me we're coming to TikTok, I didn't want to hear a single word of it. I'm not a TikTok guy. Can't stand it. When he said, we're going to TikTok and I want to learn how to do it, I said, go to my sister's because I'm not going to talk to you about this. I don't want to hear about you being on TikTok. But overall, like, he's comfortable in any scenario, any generation, any age group, especially when it comes to embarrassing the crap out of me. So I don't need to give him any advice on being hip with my generation because my generation kind of stinks. So stay far away from us and be more of his dinosaur years. And
that one hurt. That one hurt, Sam. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's a good thing because my age group and everyone below, I'm not a fan of. So stay stay away from trying to relate to my generation as much as you can because it's not great.
Well, there's something to be said about just the life experience and knowing what I know now. I mean, I'm able to, and your dad as well, able to react to adverse situations with a lot more maturity now. Yeah. And I think we're kind of raising a younger generation to just, when you're offended, let everybody know how offended you are. And call people out, try to fix things on Facebook. I could go into some of the comments that I've seen recently on some of the things that we post as The Chosen, and we get attacked. And it's like, I don't know what you're trying to gain by calling people, names and using all this coarse language. And
I very rarely take offense in any situation. I'm not someone you can bug. I'm someone you can bug. I'm not someone you can easily offend. And if we feel like we need to cut this out, I'm a huge South Park guy. I'm a huge Family Guy. Simpsons. You and I have bonded over our love for Simpsons.
Yeah.
I don't get offended easily, and I know when something is offensive to my faith and to Christianity, and I'll stay far away from that if it's way too hateful or bigoted toward Christianity. But if it's funny and if it's not at all offensive or if it's not at all hurtful, if it's coming from a place of jokes, sign me up because I needed to watch myself a little bit being at Liberty. But yeah.
I think it's great that you're not easily offended because a lot of times people as dumb as you do get offended easily. And that's just admirable that you can, took you a second to respond to that one.
If you're not old enough to legally buy alcohol, then I could care less about how offended you are.
I love it. Oh, man. All right. So speaking of age, and Barb alluded to this, and this was something that I wanted to talk to you about too. Your grandpa, Jerry, didn't, the success of the Left Behind series didn't really hit until he was about your dad's age. Right. Your dad's successes didn't really start to hit until, the north side of 40. I'm above 40. I didn't have very much success at all in film and television. The risk for you, Sam, I mean, being as young as you are, is if God gives you that success and you're not grounded in that faith and you're not grounded in his word and you're not approaching all decisions prayerfully, the risk in that is that you get successful too soon. Do you ever ponder that? Does that ever go through your mind?
It does. I'm obviously someone who wants to be successful. I don't want fame. I don't love the world of like stopping you on the street and getting a picture. I'm not about it. I've never liked it. I've always felt odd when it's happened to my dad. Now that The Chosen is as big as it is, like we'll get stopped sometimes. For me personally, I'm not looking forward to that aspect. I want to be able to live a normal's in the right sense, normal life while also being successful in what I do. But I know that if I end up being really successful, then that'll come with it. My grandpa and my dad didn't get as successful as they are now until they were in their 40s. That does worry me a little bit, obviously, for myself. I don't know how best to say it. I've never felt as though like my life is in any danger or any like need of like looking for the next meal or next like when's food going to be on the table next. As I'm getting older, going into the business terrifies me a little bit because I know that it is a very cutthroat business and you have to be the right guy to be successful. I hope that I'm able to make a career out of it faster than my dad has, but it all is in God's timing. So overall, whatever he has for me, I'm totally fine with. I'd like to get started quicker than he did and make something like The Chosen earlier than he did. But again, The Chosen happened on God's timing, and it happened when my dad was ready for it. And that's going to happen. It's going to be the same for me.
I love the way you approach that with such humility too. And just not, it's difficult, and it's easy to say, it's easy to get the lip service of all in God's timing. But my goodness, I was just in the Valley not too long ago. I had moved out to Los Angeles to pursue specifically the acting career that I thought was mine to have. And it didn't pan out. And I came back to Minnesota with my tail between my legs. At that moment, I was not saying, well, guess it just wasn't God's timing. I guess we'll just wait a little. And at that moment, I was depressed. I was just really in a bad place and wanted to leave the industry altogether, and ended up booking a couple commercial roles that actually helped pay the bills and helped, kind of satisfy that itch to be on set. And then The Chosen, again, it really is that God's timing thing. If I would have had success at a younger age, I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I know that for a fact. And so sitting here talking with you and hearing the things coming from your mouth, it again makes me, I'm not doing the buttering up thing again. It just makes me proud of you and happy to hear what you're saying. And yeah, it's just, yeah, no, it's cool. So I do have to ask the question though from your buddy Andrew, just wondering about Survivor. Is any progress in Survivor, or what is that all about? I mean, come on.
Yes, the producers are going to be so happy that I'm bringing this up on this channel. I got my big Survivor flag there. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a massive Survivor fan, to the point where it's an unhealthy obsession. But this thing at Liberty University started, Survivor Liberty University, playing Survivor on a college campus instead of on an island. I got involved with the first season, competed, and after my time on the show was done, they said, you want to stay on the set and continue being a part of future seasons? The next thing I know, I'm director and executive producer and one of the heads of the shows by season 3. And it's going great. Season 1 is out right now. The finale is on hold temporarily, but all 9 episodes are out right now. You can go watch them on YouTube, Survivor Liberty University, see me compete. And we're in the middle of filming season 4 right now. It's going awesome. We're currently in what I think is one of our best seasons yet. And if you're a Survivor fan, you'll love this. And if you're a Chosen fan, come support a Jenkins. I'm totally kidding. If you're not even a Survivor fan, you'll be hooked on this. You'll be hooked on the relationships that are made. And these are friends that I've met through the game, even though we're at each other's throats, lying to each other's faces, stabbing each other in the back. We've remained great friends, and it's a God-given thing. Not as much as The Chosen, but we've seen God work through something that we love and something we never thought we'd be able to do is play Survivor. And now we're in 4 seasons, meeting people. We've had people say I was going to leave Liberty until I had this thing to do and be a part of this show. And former castmates remain on the crew. So now I'm the director, and I'm directing a new cast with former castmates as my crew. So it's going very, very well. We're about to finish season 4, and we have season 5 being made really soon.
That's awesome, man. I had no idea. What's that?
Quick plug for Survivor Liberty University on YouTube.
So other than Survivor, what else is on your plate right now? I mean, do you have any other creative projects that you're working on?
That's obviously, I'm probably a little too young to be saying I've got some stuff in the works and I'm putting stuff together. Right now, I'm a full-time student, about to finish my sophomore year at college, entering the film program at Libre for my junior year. Going to be able to make my student film within the next couple of years, working on season 4 of Survivor LU while also balancing social life. So I'm busy, but also enjoying myself while I still have this youth and enjoying my few precious moments left until I'm out in the world and making movies. But right now I'm just a full-time student. I'm only 20 years old and yeah, pretty good right now.
Well, to quote one of my all-time favorite movies, stay here for as long as you can. Stay here. That's my Sandler. That's not very good. That's Billy Madison.
That's right.
Stop looking at me, Swan. Swan. I know that I cannot go toe-to-toe with you in the impression world.
Mm.
When I impersonate people, I impersonate impersonators impersonating them. So when I do my Schwarzenegger, it's other people impersonating. This is more like McBain from The Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah. McBain.
So I'm terrible, but let's hear a couple fun ones. And
who would you like to hear? Because I've got a whole warehouse of them. In the sake of The Chosen, we could say you're interviewing Shahar.
All right, I'm going to introduce to you Shahar Isaac, who plays Simon. Shahar, how's it going?
How you doing, man? Good to see you.
So yeah. What's it like being on The Chosen, and who's your favorite associate producer?
Being on The Chosen, man, it's really good, man. I love that guy Justen. He's a good guy, man. Dallas Jenkins, great director. Sam Jenkins, man, that kid is a really good dude. He and I bond together on set a lot. Just gotta love being a part of it. I don't think Shahar knows I do this impression of him, so. But yes, I love being a part of it. Love being on set. Beautiful time. Love playing Simon Peter. So, excuse me real quick while I stretch for a little bit, but
it's far better than mine. I mean, my Shahar is basically. We love Shahar. I mean, seriously, like there is not much more of a beautiful soul than Shahar. I mean, he is a loving dude, and I consider him a dear brother. I love him so much.
I hadn't seen him for roughly a year from being on set, being at college. Yeah. And I came up to him and didn't know if he would recognize me. I hopped off the van to show up to set. He goes, "Oh, how you doing, brother? How you doing, man? How you doing? Good, Sam. And how's Liberty going?" And he remembers everything I tell him, and he's one of the nicest guys ever. Yeah. Nothing like Simon Peter, who's a little bit more tough. Shahar is a sweetheart.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So who else do you have from the Chosen that you could?
Chosen, still got to work on a couple of those. Obviously, I can. My living, breathing impression is my father. Me just talking, that's me doing an impression of my dad.
Okay, no. So here we go. Sam has left, and now we've got his dad, Dallas Jenkins. Dallas Jenkins, special guest, joining us right now. Hey, Dallas, how's it going?
How's it going? It's me, Dallas Jenkins, creator of The Chosen. So glad to be here. If you could do one quick thing for me, is go on the app, pay it forward. It'd be a great opportunity for you to learn more about The Chosen, for us to do more seasons.
Dallas, can you sing the jingle?
www.thechosenmerch.com.
Spot on. I actually do. I do an impersonation of your dad too. So here we go. Here's mine. Cutler. No, I added the Cutler part at the end.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, I've never heard him do that, but.
So I'm trying to remember the impersonation. So I'm not a Walking Dead guy. I know you did the Walking Dead guy. I'm sure there's enough people out there that know. So let's hear your. And forgive me, I don't even know the name of the guy. So
name is Rick Grimes. He's the main character of The Walking Dead. Now that's a character I've been able to do for a long time. I'm not sure how many of you listeners at home is going to know who Rick Grimes is. But he's the greatest television protagonist of all time. It's one of my favorite impressions.
I love it. I love it. I'm trying to go toe to toe, and I'm thinking of other people that I can impersonate. And I don't want to give this person's name away, but we'll go into it. It's we'll see how this goes. You just got to ask for the favor of God. If you get the favor of God, he will turn your red lights green. He will give you money that you need, and he will make everything happen for you as long as you've got the favor of God. Amen. That's
a really good impression. I know exactly who that is.
We won't say who it is.
We are not going to say who that is. But Michael Caine is one I can do pretty well. He's from the Batman movies. Michael Caine, he always talks like this, really, really slow. And you need to go right now. Go watch The Chosen. Season 2, coming out weekly when episodes are done. I promise. It's a great show.
That's fantastic. I'm done. I'm out. Oh wait, must you want to count Mickey? Hey boys.
No, I never count Mickey for any impressionist because it's the easiest one to do.
I did think of one other one. I don't think anybody in the world can impersonate accurately Christopher Walken.
No one can do it.
It's just there is something just so intensely unique about him that it's impossible, right?
I've seen a guy named Ross Marquand do it on YouTube perfectly. He's the only guy I know who can do it. No one can do Christopher Walken.
All right.
I can't do Christopher Walken. I've tried for years, can't do it.
Could you, one last, and this is kind of on the spot, could you impersonate the Roman messenger from episode 6 of The Chosen?
Who is that again? I don't remember that. I don't remember that scene.
Didn't you have a hand in casting him?
Yeah, doesn't come to mind.
It's okay. It's okay. He was killed off in the off season anyway. So wait, no, that's a spoiler. Roman messenger might be returning.
Spoiler alert.
Tune in.
If anyone's favorite character is the Roman messenger, we're so sorry that we just spoiled that for you.
the Roman massager, as I like to call him, but that gets me in a little bit of trouble. So, all right, brother, this is so much fun. Now we're getting to the point where we're just kind of hanging out, catching up. But is there anything else that you wanted to just tell people? Oh, we've got to have some kind of a little. We teased about it, or I teased about it earlier, and now I'm putting you under the spotlight. Give us a secret. Give us something about Dallas Jenkins that only Samuel D. Jenkins would know.
Trying to think, what can I say that he would be totally okay with me saying? What is a secret about Dallas Jenkins? Nobody knows. He's not a very secretive guy. Nothing is coming to mind. I don't know what's a secret in his. And if it's a secret, he's not telling me.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I really respect about him is I've become a friend of his. It's just he's open, he's candid. He doesn't really care what you know about him. I might have some embarrassing stories that you don't know that I won't ever share with you.
Oh, man. I just can't think of any right at the top of my head. I just know, he's an open guy. Okay, there are things, but like childhood embarrassing stories and that kind of stuff that I'm not going to reveal, obviously, in front of everybody.
Well, you did mention that it's his job to embarrass you from time to time.
I'm more than happy to embarrass myself. Spoiler alert about The Mandalorian. I sobbed uncontrollably when Luke Skywalker showed up on The Mandalorian. That's a secret. Don't tell to people that. And if I do, then the world knows now. But
hey, you know what? There's enough stuff that you've shared in this interview that I have no doubt, as many people that are fans of The Chosen that already love your dad, they are going to love you just as much, if not more. And I'm just so happy that you took the time to do this.
I am too.
Yeah, it's tough for me to carve out the time to do these Against the Tide media interviews. I've got several that I have promised them and they just haven't come to fruition. So I'm super excited that we made the time for this to happen, even amidst all the busyness of Survivor and all that stuff. But no, appreciate you, brother. Love you, man. And I look forward to seeing you in person sometime soon, coming over and visiting the new place down in Texas.
We won't say where that is, but love you too, brother. Glad I got to do this. I'm looking forward to it. So,
all right. Peace out.
Peace out.
Trouble.
Hey everyone, it's Noah Bennett, founder of Against the Tide Media. Got a quick favor to ask that is as fast as the click of a button. If you're a fan of The Chosen and ATTM special content on this channel, you can easily show your support by liking this video, clicking subscribe, and the notification bell. You'll be one of the first to know when new videos are released. This will help us continue to grow and spread our message to the world through interviews and other special features such as Zoom rooms, chatting with The Chosen, 53 Questions with Raina, and talking back with Tara and Barb. Actually, only 12% of our viewers are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Only 12%, meaning that almost 90% are not, and I'd love for you to join us in helping The Chosen, along with other Christian entertainment, to reach as many people as possible, and it really helps so much. Thank you so much for all of your incredible support, and remember, like, subscribe, notification bell. Thank you again.
Hello.
Word to your mother.
I thought it would be funny if when you came in, I was just sitting like this, like, let's get this over with.
It's not funny at all, Sam. I'm very hurt that you would even think that was funny. All right. Shoot. How do I sound to you?
Fine.
Okay. You sound good too. I got to get the questions open.
Doing it earlier worked perfectly for me, so.
Good. Yeah, this works better for me too. I can eat dinner with my family a little more easily now.
And I can go work out.
You know where the gym is? I'll find it.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but there's no other way to say it. Gonna go get some freaking gains.
I don't really need to work out. I'm just naturally ripped to shreds. My secret is water in a Disney World mug. So, be fair warned. We're gonna just kind of joke around a bunch. I hope that's cool.
What happens whenever you and I talk anyway.
But I will get into some fan questions. And
some, I'm sure I saw like 30,000 of those, but
you're a popular dude. But one thing I don't want to do, and I mentioned this to Noah. I can't remember if I mentioned it to you or not. But I don't want this to be an interview with you talking about your dad.
Yeah, sometimes I'd like a little bit of feedback.
Buddy, you're a great director.
It's a little late.
We can't not talk about your dad at all, of course.
I'm not as interesting as my dad, so.
You don't sell yourself short, man. Hey, this is recorded, so I got to be careful what I say, but I'm more interested in you than I am in your dad. Come on.
I'll send him that footage and make sure that he hears that crystal clear.
I think he knows. All right, let me just get my view here. All right, so that's gallery. We're going back to speaker. Where I'm repping both brands today.
Do I need to rep some Chosen merch, or
do you have any? Don't you have any Chosen merch?
I probably do. Yeah.
You don't have to.
Okay. It's either say what I'm wearing or get shirtless on camera. It's gonna be the same for me.
Yeah, and I love your approach and the humility that you exemplify. We'll pause for a sec.
Morty.
Yeah. All right, Noah, we're back in.
That's not staying in.
What's that?
That's not staying in any way, shape, or form.
All right, we're back in, Noah. 3, 2, 1.
And they're the best. Dad, Tyler, and
Ryan.
We're gonna cut that. Rewind. We're not putting that in. Dad, Tyler, and Ryan.
Oh boy, we could go down a rabbit hole now, but let's not. Let's pause. And Noah, I'm looking for more questions here.
I will take any and all questions, no matter how weird they are. It'd be so unfortunate if we realized this was live.
Right? That was the dumbest question ever. Man, I can't believe
Ryan's name momentarily live.
Right.
You know, I literally lived in a house with him and my father for a good while. Just totally.
I'm honestly at the age where I forget my own kids' names from time to time. Not because I don't know them. It's just because there's other information that gets in the way.
Leave that in there, Noah.
Yeah.
Traumatizes kids.
So who is Andrew? Andrew's pictures and stuff.
That's my buddy Andrew, just asking about Survivor, which is something that we're a part of. And I'm more than happy to plug Survivor while I'm on.
Okay, let's save that one towards the end. Remind me to come back to that.
Okay.
What were some of your...
Oh, Andrew.
Who's your favorite? Yeah, Catherine, who's your favorite actor? We don't want to do that.
I can tell my favorite actor. Oh, on the show?
Yeah.
No way I can answer that. I know all of them, so.
Yeah. Oh, I like this. Okay. Barb in Columbus. That must be, is that Barb, the Barb I know? Sorry, I'm not giving last names. So, okay. So that one, your buddy Andrew about Survivor. And he looks just like Dallas.
What? Oh, I've never heard that one before.
Really? Never
heard that one.
I think you look like Max. Like you two.
Yeah. No, but what is bizarre about that is I'll look at Max and see some of my dad's mannerisms in him.
Oh, for sure. And I actually picked up on one of your mom's mannerisms a few minutes ago. You emulate your dad more than your mom, but there was something you did. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, oh my gosh, Amanda.
No, Max has become such an integral part of the family. Well, obviously, yes, but like it's hard to remember that he's adopted. So like I'll look at him sometimes and I'll see my dad's face in him. Yeah. I don't understand it, but like it's very weird how much he reminds me of my dad sometimes.
No, and that's awesome. Again, I've never told you this, but I'm a huge, proponent of adoption. I am
too, yeah.
Just love it. So, all right, let's get back into it. So Noah, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I got a question from Barb.
One thing that I do take to heart is them reminding me that you have to be the right guy to be successful. I hope that my success comes. Gosh, I hate how that sounds. Quick plug for Survivor Liberty University on YouTube.
And so this is all technical stuff. Noah, here, this is all. Are you affiliated with the actual Survivor? Like, can we do that without getting flagged?
What do you mean? Can we do that without getting
for copyright stuff?
I mean, we have a whole YouTube channel called Survivor Liberty University that's still running. So
okay,
if you want to cut it, you can totally cut this out. It's just a funny question that Andrew put on there, but.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I didn't know. I think it's awesome. And Noah will probably cut this together, upload it to YouTube privately. And then if any copyright stuff gets triggered, and copyright is based on music more than anything else. So if we're not showing, is it should be
totally fine. Even if you want to put it in.
Cool. All right. We're back in Noah in 3. Wait, I got to figure out what haven't we covered yet? So segue from Survivor. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
That does worry me a little bit, obviously, for myself. But we've never once.
Spot on. And you even suppressed a belch earlier during this, and it's like every live stream, all of a sudden it's, oh, excuse me.
Excuse me. Sorry. We're back.
There was the one time where he full on just burped, and then 3 seconds later, did I just belch? Yeah, I mean, yes, you did.
Oh my gosh! Wow, I didn't think I was gonna do that. Okay.
I actually do. I do an impersonation of your dad too. Well, you did mention that it's his job to embarrass you from time to time.
I'm more than happy to embarrass myself. I sobbed like a baby when Luke Skywalker showed up on The Mandalorian. Spoiler alert.
That's not how spoiler alert works. You don't say it after giving the spoiler.
Have you not seen it yet?
I have, yeah.
Okay. Edit. Spoiler alert about The Mandalorian.
Peace out.
Peace out.
All right. There we go. We did it. Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you're reflecting back on anything and you're like, oh, we shouldn't use that, just text Noah and me. Although Noah so Noah, you're watching this. Noah goes crazy on these group texts sometimes, and will text me at midnight and stuff too. Noah must be like your dad, where he just doesn't go to bed at night.
Oh, I'm up at 2 a.m. texting people, and I know full well that they're not going to get back to me for a good 5 hours. But
you sleep in then too?
Well, I try to. School has turned me into a sleep-in freak. I just beat my record of sleeping in a couple weeks ago until noon. So
then I kick myself if I'm past 7:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh, I'm wasting the day. I feel terrible.
Survivor kicks your butt. Homework's kicking my butt, and it's making me appreciate sleep a lot more.
No, seriously. Are you working down there too?
I don't have a car, and I don't have time to do it.
Sure.
So even when I'm in the film program and I'll have a car, I won't have the time to work. So working through the summer on The Chosen, if I'm chosen not filming, doing jobs at home. But
yeah,
I literally have the purpose of all right, save money for savings for the apartment in Lynchburg, and then save money for spending for friends and dates and all that stuff. So
yeah. Oh, we should have talked about that. You're going to have a handful of, actually, probably the most comments you'll get are from 65-year-old women saying how cute you are. But if there's a 20-year-old that watches, you never know.
Dating someone, can't do it. So
are you? Oh, hey! Congrats, man.
Yes.
All right.
If we leave that part in, sorry, ladies and gents. Sorry, 65-year-old women, and occasionally the 20-year-old. I'm a taken man. So
Noah, if you use even one piece of that, I am never doing one of these again. and also the fact that you said sorry, ladies and gents.
I mean, if there's any gents out there, not going to happen, but.
That's Sam, short for Samuel, not short for Samantha. Thank you very much.
Samuel Jenkins is not available, ladies. I'm sorry.
All right, brother. We better go before we get in trouble. Thanks,
All right.
man. We'll catch you soon.
See ya.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Oh, hey, Noah Bennett here, founder of Against the Tide Media. Again. And I know you've been seeing me a lot lately on these blooper reels for Against the Tide Media interviews, but I think you'll like this. Now, shortly before this interview, I did a prep meeting with Sam and Justen, as I usually do for Against the Tide Media interviews. And there's some parts in here that I think you'll like. Now, I know Sam and Justen might get mad at me for showing you this, but I mean, hey, it's for you guys. It's worth it. And maybe sometime we'll do a whole video showing every prep meeting that we've ever done for every single Against the Tide Media interview? Maybe. But here's this one. Enjoy. Hello.
Hey. Look at this. I've got a clamp ring light. See this? I bought this off of Amazon for my phone.
Nice.
I have one on a stand, but I thought I would give this a shot. It's just a little too bright.
Okay, so I guess we'll get to the basics. I'm going to make you allow record so you can record.
Okay.
Meaning as well to
Which I've done that before, and I've even saved the files. Because I think I mentioned to you that I did the big cast Zoom phone call where they read a scene from season 2 last summer.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember how I did it.
There's Sam.
So now I'm in gallery.
Hello, Sam.
Whoa.
Hello. I'm doing it from my phone, so see if that is
Look
that
at this guy.
Hey, Justen.
How you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm trying to make it so
I have a feeling this could get wild.
I'm trying to make it so I can see both of you at the same time.
That's what Noah and I are just discussing here is the best view.
So I'm
Sam,
trying.
I think it's because you're using your phone. I don't think you can switch views on your phone.
Well, all right.
You have your laptop with you, though.
Yeah, I do, but it's because it's not. You sent it to my text message, so it's trying to put it on my phone, on my laptop. But
if you give me your email, I could send it.
Yeah. Why don't you do that? So do you want me to take my email real quick?
Yeah, thank you.
So it's Samuel.com.
Okay.
Can't believe your middle name is Diana.
Yeah, decided to name it after my father's mother, so.
Done. Yeah.
All right.
Should be on your laptop, so should be able
Yeah,
to
I see us. So I'm going to rejoin in just a second.
Okay, sounds good. So, Justen, I was thinking we could practice with pretend that you're interviewing us. Like you could say, "Hey, it's Justen Overlander." You know, have it on speaker view or gallery view, whichever your preference. Usually, if you're doing speaker view, it's kind of a surprise who your guest is. Like, even though they obviously know who it is, you want to make it seem like a surprise.
Right. Yeah. And my approach is going to be to make the intro really, really short, just because I like to get there faster. Oh, I can touch up my appearance.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm using right now.
It works.
You might want to do like a little practice with me and Sam here, like almost as if you're going to interview us.
Sure, I can do that. All right, so I start with speaker view, right?
Yep, and then the focus will be on you if you're talking. In fact, go 1, 2, 3. So just to be sure the focus is on you.
1, 2, 3. Is it focused on me? Is it switching? Because it's staying on you.
Yeah, it will. In the recording, it'll be that way, even though you can't see it.
And now I'm at gallery. Okay, so speaker view, it's recording. Okay, so I'm on speaker view. Hey, it's Chris Farley. Welcome to the Chris Farley Show. You guys you familiar with the Chris Farley Show from Saturday Night Live?
I'm familiar with Farley, but Chris Farley Show, it's a bit way older than me. So
you got to look him up. Look up the Chris Farley Show.
You're just way too old of a man, Justen.
I am. You know what? Yeah, I'm like only a year younger than your dad, so I'm up there. Okay, so 7:46 p.m. Number 1, I am in speaker view. Now I'm switching to gallery view. This is gallery view. Sam, will you say something?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, now I'm back to Justen, still in gallery view, and I'm going to switch to speaker view. So now it should just be me on the screen, but I'm going to ask Noah to talk.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
And then I interject and come back, and now I should be the one on the screen. Sam interrupts.
Interrupting.
All right, and now we're back to me. Okay, so that's 7 bits for me to look at, and I'm just going to watch this playback so I can get an idea of what it just did. Cool?
Cool.
Well, I'm gonna duck out. Sam, we'll figure out a time to do this Against the Tide Media conversation, and I like to keep things super casual. If you want structure to it, we can come up with some structure. Otherwise, I think it'll just kind of be talking about what has The Chosen meant to you as the son of Dallas? Is Dallas your dad's name? I sometimes forget.
We can focus more on that instead.
I'm trying to remember.
What's it like to be the son of Dallas Jenkins?
But you've been on set with us a number of times too, and so it'd be kind of fun to get your experience. Just your observations as kind of an outsider, but also kind of an insider. Towing that line and.
No, yeah, I definitely feel part of the project when I have so little to do with it at the same time. I feel as involved as ever because there are thousands of Chosen fans at college who will find out who my dad is and ask me, so when are you guys releasing this season? Like, I have nothing to do with it. It's like, very good job on The Chosen. Like, I have no say unless it's Erick Avari. So,
well, I was just about to bring that up. You had a significant role in that.
Yeah.
There's even a YouTube video where Dallas talks about that.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll get into that a little bit.
Get all into that at the interview. I have a question. No, I have a question for you. How old are you, dude? 14. Jeez, dude. You're a smart kid, man. This is
Thank you.
Impressive, dude. I thought you were much older when you're reaching out. And when I found out you were 14, that's impressive, dude.
You see why I'm trying to be so nice to him? Because he's going to own Hollywood in about 10 years.
I'm going to work for him someday, and I want
totally.
to get on his good side.
That's why I'm trying to do it, man. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to go tuck my kids in and stuff. But Noah, thank you for your help. Sam, it's great to see you, man.
Good to see you, man. I promise that when I do the interview, I'll be I'll be wearing something different than a hoodie.
Well, and I'll probably put on a hat to cover up my giant forehead and crazy hair. Oh, I have a haircut next week. That's right. Sweet.
I should get a haircut next week.
Maybe you could do the interview while you're getting a haircut.
Right?
Yeah. I should get a haircut, but I like all this here. So
you know what? You and your dad both, you jerks, have like great hair. I mean, your dad's older than I am, and his hairline is down here, and mine's up here. I'm like, ugh.
No, he goes very short, and I go all up here. So
it works. It works for you, man. All right, guys, I'm going to duck out. Super great seeing you both. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Big fan.